when your NFL team's on the, it's like, I hate these. And then your NFL team's on the board and you're like, so y'all got any more of them Orville Reese's over there?
You hate them when you have to play them until they go to your favorite NFL team. We're going to talk about some of those players that you hated when they wore your rival's jersey. But then once they got to the NFL, they weren't so bad.
Man.
Who's that? Who's that guy for you?
Man, you want to know who it is right now? That
Kate
I
Stover?
really want,
Kate Stover?
No. Jackson, no, never. Because they're also, by the way, they're also those guys that's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, there's also
Jack Sawyer, never.
Yeah,
absolutely
JJ
never.
McCarthy will never.
And I respect that. The guy. So right now, there's actually a few of them right now for Ohio State, which I hate, but I can't anymore. But Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
Like just like again, I'm a Lions fan, so Tampa doesn't mean anything to me. It's not like he went to my team or anything. But like, number one, just seems like a good dude. You know what I mean? Like, just seems like a good dude. And so like I that means a lot to me. I respect that a lot. And he's just really talented. I mean, my gosh, what he did with Tampa this year. I mean, I know JSN got so much of the spotlight as far as Ohio State, kind of this new wave of Ohio State receivers in the league go. But Emeka is just phenomenal, and I cheer for him. I picked him up in fantasy.
How much did that pain you a little bit?
It didn't, because I just, like, again, good dude, know he's talented, and then I kind of took a flyer on him late in the draft, and he ended up playing out pretty well, I'd say.
I think the biggest one for me is going back to when I first started becoming a fan, back when like the early 2000s, like maybe 2001. And one of the first guys I vividly remember watching from Michigan that I just hated, that I loved, even when he was with Michigan, was Mike Hart.
Yeah.
I loved watching that guy. He was just so talented. He was a bigger bodied guy. And just was a stud running the ball. I was so sad that he had to play for the team that I hated.
Yeah.
But I loved watching that guy.
I don't think he played for him in the early 2000s.
No, but he was, but he was the first one since when I was a fan then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to like, I mean, unless you're a Michigan State fan, it's hard not to like Mike Hart.
Yeah.
And even if you're a State fan, show some respect to your big brother. Okay. Boy, I mean, most of these for me are recent guys. I got into the NFL, like, I didn't get into the NFL really until college. It had always been like college football was it. And I really only started following the NFL with any sort of seriousness in college. So, I mean, it's still been like 10 to 15 years, folks. Okay. But so these guys are a bit more recent, but I really tried to like Jeff Okudah when he got drafted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have
because he got drafted by the Lions third overall, but then he was injured all the time, and frankly, he wasn't very good. So I guess I don't like him that much after all.
I think for me, and it's kind of changed over the years just because I've heard him on different podcasts kind of rip Cleveland, but Braylon Edwards is that for me. I actually bought his jersey when he was with Cleveland. He was a Pro Bowler in like 2007 with us. I'm a Browns fan, so I don't get to watch a lot of talented players play for my team. Braylon Edwards was one that had a couple of really, really good seasons. I bought his jersey. And then afterwards, I mean, in recent years, I've heard him get on there and kind of rip him and not take accountability for any of his actions and why his career didn't really, truly pan out. But when he was with Cleveland, man, that was a guy that I feel like he was a little bit underutilized even at Michigan. And
to an extent.
To an extent, he was still
not
one of the
way Nico Collins was.
No, that was a.
I don't want to talk about that. Never mind.
We can do a whole other video on that.
Yeah, gosh.
But yeah, he was a guy that coming out, and I would honestly say Donovan Peoples-Jones was in the same category.
That's a good one.
Well.
Yeah.
Where I look at both of those guys, and they both played for Cleveland, and were kind of underutilized at Michigan, but I fell in love with both of them when they were on the Browns, and I still was rooting for DPJ even after he left.
I think when you've got a guy who's just an easy guy to root for, I think that's, for me at least, it sounds like for you too, that's kind of what wins me over in the NFL is either they went to my team, it's like, well, okay, I guess I'll have to cheer for him. Or it's just like, this is an easy person to root for. It's like, how can you not? So I've got two more. I'll throw out one quick. Travion Henderson.
Yeah, how can you not?
Again,
how can you not?
Good dude, mega talented. I mean, it's just fun to watch him play. Fun to watch him play ball. I still remember, was it the Texas game? You know, obviously he has the big touchdown at the end of the half, but he gets the penalty. And and they're talking to him. He's just like, man, I repent, and I'm praise the Lord. He gave me another chance. I was like, I can't be mad about this. It's amazing. Yeah. Here's the one that pains me the most. I think you already know this one.
I hope it's who I'm thinking it is.
CJ Stroud.
That's not who I was going to go for.
I'm curious in a moment, but I both still hate CJ Stroud. He's also still kind of my favorite Ohio State quarterback because he got nothing. But also, he's just really I really enjoy watching him play football. Yeah. And I don't want to, but I do.
Yeah.
And that's probably the one that if it's like, that's maybe the encapsulation for me of like, I don't know if I actually like you yet, but I can't stop watching you play football.
But you're trying to root for him.
I'm trying to. It's very confusing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's an easy choice.
Who did you think I was going to say?
My dark horse for you there was actually going to be Will Howard.
No.
There was a part of me that thought you were going to go Will Howard.
No, Will Howard is in the Jack Sawyer camp.
Okay.
Because
that surprises me. I thought Jack Sawyer would be a little bit more.
Well, Jack Sawyer is in his own level.
Yeah, he's got his own tier, which I thought.
Jack Owen Foyer, as they call him.
That's JJ McCarthy is that for me. JJ McCarthy and Blake Corum are like 1A, 1B of people that I just will never like. See,
I would have thought Blake Corum would have been.
Nope.
For the same Mike Hart reasons, I would have thought Blake Corum would have been.
I did until all the different allegations and things came out, and I just.
What did he have to do with any of that?
There's all.
Don't talk about the real estate thing.
It all feels icky to me. Something about them. Icky. Same thing with Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards, if he was ever going to make an NFL roster ever, then maybe I'd throw him in this category. But
that's so hurtful. But also, I can't say anything about it.
I think the last one that I'm going to throw out, and it's funny because all of these are players that just play for the Browns, so I have to.
So in other words,
look, if you have ever watched this podcast,
all the talented players from Michigan and Ohio State
could name them.
I'll go to the Browns because the Browns are always picking very high in the draft.
Yes. Here's the thing.
Mason Graham?
If you've ever, it's Mason Graham.
Is it really? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to preempt you. That's amazing.
Absolutely is. If you have ever watched this podcast for a second, you know one thing, and it is that I am petty to no fault. I will die on those hills.
Way to phrase that for this ministry podcast. Good job.
And so, I just can't. There's something about it that unless he plays for the Browns, it's really, really hard for me to start.
That's fair.
Like Tom Brady would be, I feel like, easy for a lot of people to go, yeah, Tom Brady's one of my favorites. No. I hope that guy never won a single thing. Unfortunately,
I have very bad news for you.
Mason Graham's up there for me. And what's funny is that had you asked me prior to the draft, he would have been in Jack Sawyer territory for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and for what he said, which I shall not repeat.
Understandably so.
Yep. But this is the one thing, and I feel like I have been fair on this podcast when it comes to Michigan in this regards. The players that they have that are gritty, hard-nosed guys, like Zach Zenter is another guy that the Browns picked up that I hated when he was wearing the maize and blue.
Yep.
Loved him when he got drafted by the Browns because he's just a hard nose, brings a tough attitude, and that's what Mason Graham brings. That's why even this upcoming draft, I low key have my fingers crossed that we get like a Jayshawn Barnum or somebody like that to be able to come in. I just love the grit that some of those guys.
That's the funny thing too is like when your NFL team's on, it's like I hate these, and then your NFL team's on the board, and you're like, so. Y'all got any more of them Orville Reeses over there?
How about them Sunny Styles?
So you got Caleb Downs. Do you have great value, Caleb Downs?
Yeah.
Okay. The Rivalry Podcast is part of the Varsity Network from Learfield and the River Podcast Network from River Radio Ministries.
New episodes out every Monday.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening right now, and follow on social media at RivalPod and RivalPod.com.
And if you like what you hear, share with a friend so they can listen too.